I'm going to be remaking over this jewelry box today with paint. I made a jewelry armoire recently and everybody kept asking me how I got that style of paint by layering. So I wanted to make a small version so I'd be able to record it and give you guys a video on how to do it. This is what the jewelry armoire looked like. It was all layered and pretty in colors. I did use decoupage on this, and we won't be doing that on the small jewelry armoire, but at least I will show you how you can get this layered look with Paint Pixie's magical chalk paints. Before recording, I already cleaned, primed, and painted it green sour apple. I did paint the door I'm going to show you here, and I'm probably not going to keep the paint on there. I'm just going to scratch it off. I just wanted to make sure that's the look I was going for, or did I want that to be glass? So I did paint that for now. We're going to be using magical chalk paint by Paint Pixie in sour apple, this beautiful green color. We're also going to be using honeycomb and sugared glass. The three of these together look really fabulous, and I'm going to show you how to get that distressed look. I will be using an assortment of Paint Pixie brushes, including the Dusty and the Little D, and this is a French tip. I'm also going to be using baby wipes to wipe some of the paint back. Usually I just use a wet rag, but it's just easier on camera to just use some baby wipes. Plus, people prefer to use them. I don't like to have all the garbage. The first thing we're going to do here, since my coats of green are already cured and we've let them sit for a while, we're going to take our sugar glass, that's the blue color, we're going to put some on a plate, and we're going to take our little D, and I actually want to paint the whole top of this because I'm not sure how much I want to keep blue. The original jewelry armoire that I'm trying to imitate the color, the top was actually all blue with a little bit of distressing on it. So I haven't decided exactly how much blue I want to leave up here. So we will just give it a coat right now. We can always take it back with the baby wipe or sand it before we distress it. We're also going to be taking this blue and swiping it down the side, kind of an uneven pattern, like it's dripping off the top. Later on, we're going to take the baby wipe and wipe some of this away, but for right now, just make long stripes that kind of look like the paint is dripping down the side of the piece of furniture. And here you go. I'm taking a baby wipe, or this could be a very slightly damp rag, and just start wiping some away to give it more of that appearance of like a distressing, or like it dripped down, it has been worn away, chipped away, that kind of thing. And you can see I'm just giving a little bit of that green coming through. You can work it a little bit. You can always add more paint if you think you took too much off. Now next we're going to get into our honeycomb. We're going to shake that up real good. These are nice little paints that have flip tops on them. So all you have to do is shake them and put them into another container to use. I'm going to take another clean brush. This is a little D, and I'm going to dab it off on the plate. I want barely any paint on my brush because I'm going to be doing what's called dry brushing, where I just brush on some color. So I really don't want blobs of paint on there. Just very little. And with a light hand, I'm going to go over the edges, all the edges up and down and through the middle in a crisscross pattern. You'll see me doing that here until I get as much paint as I want, and I can always go over it with another color later if I get too much. I did forget at the beginning to mention that I would be using magical chalk paint in white, which is called saltwater taffy as well. And the white, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get very little on my brush. I actually just wipe this brush off, and I'm going to use the same brush. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to start adding white on top of everything else. This gives a little bit of a muted look, plus it adds to the layering of distressing. Picking up on all those edges and again on those curves of that door, it gives it a really, really nice look. We're going to do this whole thing and I will show you what it looks like when we get done. Remember I said on the last one that I added decoupage and I wasn't doing that on this one? This one I'm going to be actually adding these transformations by Paint Pixie, and these are the hummingbirds. So I did clean off the glass, I got all the paint off, I decided I didn't want it painted, so that's why I didn't prime it, so I'd be able to get the paint right off. Otherwise I'd still have to take the paint off and probably prime it for glass, but I figured I really didn't want it. So I cut out the birds that I wanted, and I'm going to lay it down and we are going to figure out exactly what birds we want. But here, look how cute this little bee is that comes in the pack. I just had to show that to you. These are rub-on transformations, meaning that you just need to rub them onto their surface to stick. So I'm going to take the backing off it. You put the film down with the image. Now I do want to warn you, when you use something like this on glass, especially these Paint Pixie transformations, they do stick to the glass right away. So you're not going to be able to move this. Normally on furniture you can move them around a little bit, but they stick to glass like glue. So when it's down, it's down. And you just have to start rubbing with your stick and getting that off of there. It's pretty easy to do. You just take a burnishing stick, and when you start seeing it lifting, you just pull up on that film and you carefully work that piece. Doesn't this look fantastic on there? Wait till you see it on when I get the door back and the hardware back on. But next we're going to work on the actual little handle that goes on here. It's a gold-ish color. I wanted it to be a little more copper, so I'm going to take liquid pixie dust by Paint Pixie. Again, this is New Penny. It's like a beautiful copper color, and this is a metallic paint. So I can just rub a little bit on with a brush onto this hardware, and it just gives it a whole new look. It's going to make it much more shiny, and I think that's the look I'm going for here. So it's super easy. You just let it dry for a couple minutes and it'll be ready to go. So now this was just a quick and simple, easy makeover on a jewelry box. It makes it much more updated. People love these. Don't you think it looks great with the layering and the different colors on there and the hummingbirds? I just love this particular look, and I can't wait to do another one. I'm always looking for these. They're a lot of fun to do, and people seem to love them, and I just love those sweet little hummingbirds. Like and follow for more, guys. You know what to do. Press the little button to get notifications when I have new videos out, and you can find me on all social media under Simply Made Unique by Jill. And until next time, have a great day.